push it over. They're gonna laugh no matter.
All right, welcome back to JayDub Security Lab. This is exciting, you guys. This is going to be volume 1 in a series of videos that are going to help you secure Copilot AI agents. And we're going to start with the basics, right? In the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, there are some really nice controls around sharing, who can access agents, what we can granularly block or allow around all sorts of stuff. So we're going to jump in today. Let me share out my screen and we'll start to walk through these. So starting here in the admin center, as you can see, now you might see a different view than me, but you'll either have Copilot and agents or just Copilots, depending on if you've opted in for the Agent 365. I'm going to go through both today. Just to make sure that we're aware of it. There's some little settings differences, but a lot are the same. So first, let's start in Copilot. Let's start on the security tab. I have my DLP and Purview already integrated. I've set up lots of policies around what data we're collecting, what is allowed within, sensitivity labels, all that fun stuff. You'll see kind of a quick overview here of like, hey, what default protections are in place? Are all Copilot interactions scanned for sensitive info? You can see here that I have 10 in my test tenant. You'll probably have a lot more, you guys. I have a small amount of data flowing through here. In a production, I would expect to see a lot more. You also see like oversharing, which is important to think about. And the ability for Copilot, again, as I mentioned, to honor sensitivity labels. It already honors permissions for files. So hopefully we have those in order. And then preventing that potential oversharing. We'll also go down to like your data compliance, right? So what do we have in place around governance and security and data prevention to help ensure that we're compliant with our AI initiatives? The next part I want to jump down to is the settings. So there's a lot of stuff in here. A couple we can change directly in here. A couple we would have to go over to another area and configure there. There's a few we can do in here. Whether we want to pin Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat to the bar up here, right? So we can see it up here. Whether we want to pin that to the taskbar, can people complete self-service purchases within Copilot or pay-as-you-go billing? These Edge ones, generally, we're going to have to go either into an Edge configuration profile or an Intune into another area to set those, but we have a couple cool things there. Around the data access one, what I want to focus on here, most of these will jump us into different areas, but this agents one, right? So we get two big things in here. So companies will come to me and say, hey, I'm not ready to deploy agents or have people have access to them. How do I turn it off? A good way to do that can just say, hey, no users can access agents. We could also be a little bit more, most of us are going to want to try these. We could lock that down to an intra group. Right here is our kind of POC users or our developers that are allowed to, or we just control that going forward. Hey, we'll create a group and people in the group are allowed to access agents that are either pre-built by Microsoft or third parties or built by us as engineers too. You can also choose who can share agents. So not only can users usually create their own agents or kind of have access to these agents, we may not want them to be able to share this out to the org. So again, we could just control that with a no users can share, right? Hey, default, we're not ready. We have a few users that are testing it. We want to limit that to those test groups. Or, just there's, maybe all users can access, but the amount of people that can share would be limited to a group that we trust in sharing out those applications. I want to jump down to the Agent 365 one now. So this has some really cool feature sets. In the overview, do not panic. You have not created all of these agents. You may or may not see a similar number here, but you will see 100 and some odd agents because a lot of these are already created by Microsoft, as you can see a little lower, and third-party external partners that are trusted have 129 in here. So, and we have one app that I've created, and we'll walk through that in another video as well, just to kind of look through that version. So kind of a decent overview of what agents are out there, what is in our environment, and what we can do. The next tab down is the all agents. This is really cool, you guys. So We have first the filter. So maybe we want to focus on just the Microsoft ones. We're very concerned about the external partner ones. We want to know who has been publishing in our org and who, out of the people that have created them themselves, who have they shared them with? Did I share this out? And we get some cool stuff here. This one's really straightforward. Hey, this team flagged, I don't trust this one, so I'm just going to hit this little ellipsis here. I'm just going to go ahead and block this agent. I'm not sure I understand what it can interact with, and we're not quite ready to do that. So, where we get some big hammer stuff where we can just block access to agents, this really gives you guys the control to go through and decide which ones of the pre built ones, even ones, hey, we go back and we look and users have been building these and we're not ready for that. We didn't know these were shared out. We can go control that. We can go block or allow those here within the all agents section. I think this is a really nice feature set. Under tools as well, you'll hear this term MCP or Model Context Protocol a lot this year. And what that means is trying to make Copilot interact with a knowledge source that we trust, where those prompt replies can be more trustworthy, be based on areas of data that we want it to base it on, and not just randomly going out to the web and not kind of bringing back the prompt response that we expect. This gives us the ability to control that more. But again, we may not be ready for MCP servers to be allowed. It's going to be the same feature set in here, right? So whether I can go block these MCPs that are available now. I don't recommend doing this with the Microsoft ones, you guys, but wanted to make sure you're aware that you can if we're in a hey, we're not ready for this stuff kind of thought pattern. Let's jump into the settings. Two are very similar. So under the Copilot, we're going to have the sharing and user access. I'll just jump into user access real quick. They've just broken it out in the agents view here. So who can access agents? All users, no users, specific users and agents. And the same in the sharing. But this is a question I get a lot. How do we limit the types of agents? Here, the default is to allow them all. But we could just say, hey, we trust the Microsoft ones. We trust the ones that we've been building in our org, but we're not quite ready to trust those external publishers. We could just turn off that ability to allow just the external publishers, trust the others. We also could say, hey, we're going to manage all our agent access ourselves. We're going to be very hands-on and only trust the ones that we've built and we've shared and deployed out to the organization. This is another popular approach. I'd say the most popular approach to me is these first two, even though I think there's a lot of value. We all have lots of third-party tools, and the integration between these is going to be something we want. So maybe we could allow them and use that all agents overview to control access to those apps granularly. But you have some really cool controls here too. The default templates area is really nice. You should have two kind of pre-built ones in here. And what this is going to do is show you policies that are out there. And I show this today just to say, hey, we have integrations. Think of agents as users. They're going to have the same controls and things that we want within that. So the first one is your purview policies. Purview audit enabled. Do you have a know your data policy? Is a purview AI compliance assessment in place? A lot of this stuff is going to be visible in the Purview portal under DSPM or legacy DSPM for AI, depending on what you've opted in there. And you'll be able to look through those kind of posture management steps and go through the recommendations. I would do that. We'll cover that again in a future video. We get our Entra policies here around identity protection, network visibility, lifecycle management. And then, of course, what SharePoint policies do we have around agent access, data access, prompt response stuff? So kind of a cool feature set there as well. I'm hoping in just showing this that in step one, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. We can now go out and feel like we have a little bit more control around that initial rollout. I think a lot of us have already done this and are aware, but I get on calls every day with customers who have not even seen this, and this is very helpful for them to just get ahead of it, understand they have those controls, that they can see that. In volume 2, we're going to walk through Entra ID. And in Entra ID, we have some agent ID agent management group or management capabilities in there, agent registry, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I hope this helps. This would be a good first step to check what your org settings are in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center around agents and Copilot.
Push, push.